Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. This is Ralph Phillips. Well, we tried, man. We tried. I got to give it up to our team. Oh, man, that was a tough one. MK, MH, hey, ow, what's going on, guys? You know, my mind said 34-10. My heart said 27-24. Woo, boy, that was a beatdown. We got brought back to reality real quick with that game. It started off and almost immediately, they just seemed in control. I don't know how other way to say it. It seemed to me like they were just very dominant from the get-go. The Bucs did, they definitely tried. I didn't see a lot of quitting out there. But it just wasn't enough. It was not enough. I am trying to get my chat up here, guys, so give me just 1 second. Little behind tonight. For the astute amongst you, you might notice I am wearing the same shirt I was wearing yesterday in the live stream, and that's because I have not taken a shower yet. I have been busy all day. All day. All right, there we go. We got it. Woo, okay. The All-22 has not come out yet for me. I saw that some Philadelphia people had some clips out about 4 o'clock today, and that aggravates the heck out of me. I don't know where they're getting it from either. It's not the game film I normally get. It's that kind of step above what I get stuff. But we will have it tomorrow, and I am anxious to look into this. There's a lot I want to see. But let's see what everybody's got to say. Disappointing loss. Definitely need to work on some things. Yes. Yeah. I think it was a learning lesson for everybody. Everybody. A great team effort. Never stopped fighting through frustration. Our run game and run blocking defense forced us to put the ball in the air. 2 turnovers on an Eagles team you can't give it up to. Yes. Yes, definitely. Rain didn't help. Yep. Rain really hurt us. I think though, even without the rain, I think we were going to not pull this one out. Our O-line, especially Hangey and Mock, are a huge concern. It is crushing our run game, and they couldn't stop the Eagles' interior pressure on passing plays. I did not like... I'm really getting frustrated with Rachaad White. Not going to lie. He excited me so much in that preseason Week 3 game because he was running like he had never run before. Just hitting those holes, just going at it and just plowing. He wouldn't go down. And he hasn't done that this year. He's dancing around too much. He's looking for holes. I don't like it. He's really aggravating me. The Hangey and Mock, I'm anxious to look at the All-22. Actually, I don't know if they were as bad as I expected them to be. We'll have to look at it on All-22 and see. But our offensive game plan was not good. It was not good, I didn't think. We had Mayfield in the pocket. I think he threw how many? He threw from the pocket way too much. And eventually he was just getting to where just about as soon as he would drop back, he was trying to throw the ball, get the ball out of his hands or move forward. He was very skittish, and rightfully so. Let me see. What do we got? We're looking to see how many times did he throw. We got rushing, passing. Hurts had 37 attempts. Baker Mayfield had 25 attempts. I'd say out of those 25 attempts, 20 of them were from the pocket, which I think was a whole terrible game plan. It was probably more like 22 were from the pocket. I don't remember us trying to pull him out of the pocket a whole lot. Was not impressed with the game plan on either side of the ball. Either side of the ball. Lucas, what's up? Why did Vita and Devin even play if they were going to play like that? I know, right? They were basically non-factors. Vita really didn't do much, and Devin got that interception and then like immediately just ran out of bounds. That should have been a pick six. I mean, he had a parade of people in front of him. But they're ballers. They want to play, I guess. And that brings me to something else, man. The injuries with this team. This has been going on since 2020. Yeah, 2021 we had injuries. 2022 last year we had injuries. This year seems like we're starting with injuries again. We've got 5 medical doctors on staff. We have, our sponsorship is the medical place. I can't think of it right now, but when they talk, it says it behind their thing. We've got a huge medical group, and it just seems like it's not helping. It's not helping. I feel like, we could not have all those people and we'd still be just as well off. As a matter of fact, they might be hurting. I don't know. But these injuries are just too much. It seems like Carlton Davis and Dean get hurt every year. NFC champs last year for a reason. Yeah, we got to remember that. When we saw that All-22, they were scary. They were a lot better than I thought they were. In the trenches. Tampa Bay, I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. Yes, definitely. It's up here. Up here, I think we knew it up here, but right here, we thought, there was that hidden factor that we had. Interior O-line got dominated as expected. Trade Evans for Quentin Nelson. Ooh, Rampage. You're hurting me there, man. I don't want to trade Evans for nobody. I wouldn't even trade Evans for Patrick Mahomes. Tampa Bay. I don't know what happened. I know our cornerbacks are thin, and Mike dropping passes did not help. And what was up with Devin White? Was he tired with interception? He had a groin injury. He came into the game with a groin injury, and the Mike dropping the passes, that was huge. I don't know what was going on with him. He had, 3 or 4 big drops, man. That, and then the latter half of the game, he stopped dropping the ball for the most part, but just, we didn't bring our A game. Hot Wheels, what's up, man? As long as we win against the teams we're supposed to win, we will be fine. Yeah. We're still going to have a winning record, I think, which is a lot better than I thought we were going to have coming into this. One thing I really liked about this game was we were getting punched in the mouth the whole damn game. I mean, it was from the get-go. They were playing tough, hard. They were stronger than us and all that good stuff. But our guys never quit. I didn't see. There might have been some loafing out there, but I didn't really see it. We'll see on all 22. But it looked like our guys were trying all the way through the whistle, man, all the way to that last whistle. Delaney was good and bad, yeah. My brain said 24-14, but my heart changed it to 24-20. Oh, so close too. I've got Kate was the winner, right? Let me see. Al, you said 24-20. Score was 25-11. Kate picked 21-10. She was close. She did say 2 interceptions too. She said we were going to get 2 interceptions, and we did. Man, I'm going to ask her what the lottery numbers are going to be this week. Hainsey was really bad, pretty sure of it. I kind of expected it. How many sacks did Mayfield get? We got. Let me see. I'm looking. Let me pull this up so everybody can look with me. I got to get all this stuff nice and tight for you guys so it doesn't look all trashy. Let me see. Sacks. Final defensive sacks. So 2 sacks. They got 2 sacks. How many sacks did we get? We got 1 sack. It really wasn't a sack. That was when Jalen Hurts fell down, right? JLV says, yes, I agree. Rashad is trying to do too much. He needs to learn to run north. Yes. I mean, you had the perfect blueprint right in front of you. Swift. I mean, he got that ball and just boom. Now, a lot of times he had huge holes to run through, but that's what you do. I mean, you can make a cut. That's fine, but man, you gotta go after that. White is he's dancing around back there too much. MK says, yesterday was embarrassing. O-line needs help. Well, you got it. This is Philadelphia Eagles, man. Their defensive line is pretty good. Pretty good. What do they got? 4 number 1 picks on their front 7? Something like that. I mean, they're pretty good. And our O-line's mediocre. Tom, what's up? Offensive game plan. Let's run right at Davis. I know. I couldn't believe with that safety. It was like, you are going to hand the ball off and run straight into the teeth of the Eagles. That was a bad play call. I was thinking 3 quarterback sneaks, get us out of the end zone, man, and then punt. Or 2 quarterback sneaks, get a little breathing room, and then step back and chunk it down the field like a punt. Wish open phone line. Yeah, I'm working on that. Bucks Rays Bolts. What's up, man? Going to do a phone line and a Skype so you guys can call in. I was thinking about doing a phone line too where you can leave a voicemail, so if you can't catch live stream. So I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to make that a priority now. Running back sucks. I know. So disappointed in him. I was so excited. I picked him up in fantasy football because I thought he was going to do something. What he ended up with. Look at these stats. These stats are just silly. All right. You've got Swift with 130 yards on 16 carries. White with 2 less carries. He had 14 carries, 38 yards. Good grief. And Sean Tucker had 2 carries for 1 yard. The stat that really killed us, so there's 2 of them, was our time of possession. They had the ball 38 minutes and 55 seconds to our 21 minutes and 5 seconds. That's a death knell right there. You can't win like that for sure. But they also had 80 offensive plays to our, let me see how many. I just saw it. They had 80 offensive plays though. That's way too much for any defense to try and overcome. I'm falling way behind on the chat. I'll catch up here in a second. Look at these total net yards. 472 to 174. Whoa. Okay, so total offensive plays was 78 to 44. Good grief. But it's weird. On the defensive snap counts, it's 80 plays. Look at this. Right here. The defensive snap counts. It's showing 80 plays. So don't know what that's all about. Something's wrong there. Okay. The left guard was more or more of an issue than Mock from what I saw. Yeah, Rampage, seeing him with the Chargers, when we first got him, I went and looked at Small 22. I wasn't that impressed with the guy. He's done all right this season. But, he went up against a buzzsaw in the Eagles. What's up, Clack? Baker took a big shot and didn't look right after that. Second or third quarter. We'll have to look into that. Did they land on top of him? I remember him getting up, looking woozy. Coaching is why we lost. The coaching definitely was a big factor in it. Both sides of the ball. What's up, Lucas? Lucas with the super chat. Thank you, sir. As always, love the videos, bro. Go Bucks. Yes, sir. Hey, we're down, but we ain't out. We are down, but we ain't out. .6'6", 350-something pounds dude was a monster. Yeah, Tampa born, you must have missed the All-22. That was number 90. We talked about him quite a bit. He doesn't get a whole lot of defensive snaps. I think Al pulled it up, and it was less than 40%. But yeah, he's a beast, a mountain of a man. Mate says we need a running back. Yes, sir. I do. I don't think there's anybody on the streets we can get. Just hopefully Rashad will get it through his head, man. This ain't Michael Jackson auditions. You gotta run north and south. Secondary depth is worse than anything on the team, in my opinion. Well, they're definitely getting tried out. These injuries to our cornerbacks. Dean looked bad again, even when he was playing. You could tell there was something wrong with him. Last week we were saying that too. There's something wrong with Dean, and apparently he's been dealing with a shoulder injury or something. Eagles off from Georgia Bulldogs, it seems. No wonder. Really? Good football team. What's up, Nate? Nate the Great. Tough night last night, but just remember we hosted a playoff game and won our division with only 8 wins last year. Yeah, I mean, you also got to remember, this is a new team, especially the offense. We've got we got a lot of rookies on this team. Our offensive coordinator is brand new. This is only the third game he's ever called. He went up against the buzzsaw of the NFC champions. And, we got a whole new system implemented. We got a new quarterback, new offensive line. We're still gelling. Yeah, no screen sweeps, short passes. Yeah, it was weird, Clack. And we all sat here and talked about that. It's like that's what you got to do, man. You got to work those edges. You cannot run at these big boys up the middle. If we play bad this week, it's because we are banged up from the effort. Yeah, New Orleans is pretty banged up too. We are really missing Jensen this year. Yeah. He's such an attitude setter too, man. I mean, he gets the defense so frustrated. He messes with people's heads. I got so much film of him on all 22, just messing with people constantly. Baker landed on a shoulder. Okay. He should have ran, but instead took a big hit. He didn't run at all. I mean, I think he ran one time for like 2 yards or something. It's just, he didn't look like he was mentally into it. We look shook up. JRV, what's up? He got absolutely rocked on that throw. Yeah, we're going to have to look at this on the all 22. Now, I saw some penalties out there that weren't called too. So we're going to keep an eye out for the penalties. We'll see. I hate being the guy that blames penalties for losing the game. I think we were going to lose this game, no matter if the coaches would have coached better or whatever. They're just a better team. You just got to admit it. They're just a better team right now. Nate says we don't need a new running back. We need better guards in the center. I think we're stuck with what we got all the way around, man. Unless, like Tom was saying, unless we trade Mike Evans for some players later in the year. which I don't want to do. I think we're going to stick with what we got. Bowles likes to play these guys that are kind of unknowns. It seems like kind of like what they did with Canales. You know, he hires on an offensive coordinator. Bowles has been in the league for like 30 years, right, as a coach, and he hires a coach that nobody knew of, he's never called a play before. It's just weird. He likes to do that with players too. We need a cannon firing notification and a Tim Curry Long John Silver laugh notification from Muppet Treasure Island when people donate and sub. Good idea, Rampage. I'm going to write that down. Cannon fire. And Tim Curry, Long John Silver laugh. Oh, I used to love Tim Curry. One of the worst movies I ever saw was him with the monkeys, Congo. I read the book by Michael Crichton, right? And this was right after Jurassic Park, so you're like, oh, the book was great. So I was like, I loved Tim Curry, and I went to the theaters and watched it. One of the most embarrassing movies I've ever seen. It was one of the few one-star movies I've given. I give about as many one-star movies as I do 5 stars. It's tough to get in either category. Muppet Treasure Island. That's great. Yeah, I'm setting up memberships too. So we're going to have that for people that want to support the channel. You know, to try to do some like icons or whatever. Make it special. Maybe Eagles will trade Penny or Jets will trade Cooks. Yeah, because Eagles don't need Penny for sure. The Jets might have a fire sale here soon too. They're in a mess over there. Yeah, Hot Wheels. The ref's not calling that false starts. Just everybody saw that. Our run game is too one-dimensional. We rarely ever pull guards or tackles. We actually did it one play last night, and it was the biggest rush play we had. I see. We did that. That's all we did last year, and couldn't get anywhere. I really thought our running backs were going to do so much better. Jacko, what's up? Seems like Sean Tucker has regressed. Yeah, I would say all our running backs regressed. You know, I don't know what happened to Rachaad White. Why would he play like that in that preseason game and then play totally different when the season starts? I mean, he was killing it in that preseason game. Yeah, I didn't see any naked boots either last night, Nate. Baker didn't move around much, which I said that was going to be key to winning the game. We had to get him out of the pocket. You know, I mean, the Eagles aren't made to chase running back or quarterbacks. They're made to crush that pocket. Joe, what's up? They had us going 0-4. We might be 2-2 or 3-1 after 4 games. I think we're going to beat the Saints. I think we're going to be 3-1. But yeah, I mean, I'll be happy with 2-2, to be honest with you. I did not have a lot of faith going into this season. And last night hurt. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I didn't do a instant reaction video, because I was a little sad. I was a little sad. A little tipsy too. Tipsy and sad put it together doesn't make for good entertainment. The Aints O-line is not that good. Good. Maybe our defense will get some. We just didn't get any pressure on Hurts at all. I did not like our defensive game plan at all. Yeah, Hot Wheels, I agree with you. I think the bye will be good. Not only for the health reasons, but like I said, this is a new team. We're trying to gel, and we've done really well, I think. But that bye week will give them a chance to take a deep breath and relax and evaluate where they're at. Got to read Congo. Yeah, it's a great book. It really was. The movie, absolute trash. It's hilarious. When I give 1 stars, that means a movie is so bad you've got to watch it because it's that bad. Jacko Bluntly, they were holding all game. I saw a few holds for sure. So we'll look at it on all 22. It would surprise me if they did too much holding because they're a pretty good offensive line. But they held in the all 22 we watched as well. MH says we didn't want Baker out of the pocket to protect him for the long haul and just get out of his game and learn from it. That might make sense too. Avengers and Infinity War and Endgame are both 6 stars out of 5 stars. Dude, Al, ask Molly. She'll tell you. First time she ever saw me cry was at the end of, oh gosh, I can't remember which Marvel movie it was. And Thanos came on screen. Thanos has been my favorite fictional character since about 1992 when they did the Infinity Gauntlet series. I actually it was one of my most prized possessions was the first appearance of Thanos in Iron Man 55. I had it, I collect comics. And when I had no idea he was going to be in the Marvel Universe when they were doing the movies. And he came on at the end screen, and I got so excited I actually started crying. And Molly was like, "Are you crying?" I didn't even cry at the birth of our kid. I didn't cry at our wedding. None of that. I still cry a lot. And she was like, "Are you crying?" I had a big mural of him painted in my house that I painted on the wall. Him, Mephisto, and Adam Warlock. I had painted on my wall in my house. Back in 91, 92. Saints have a bunch of extra running backs. So I agree with you. Avengers, good movies, man. Not a big fan. Movies nowadays, I don't know if I've just seen too many movies, but it's rare. Great movie was RRR. It's an Indian movie from India. Fantastic movie, 5 stars. Story was great. The cinematography is incredible. If you got guy friends, watch this movie with them, drink some beers, and I swear you will be up and hollering through that whole movie. It's a long movie, great movie. The soundtrack is incredible too. Saints have a bunch of extra running backs. Maybe they wouldn't give us any running backs. We don't want Penny and his 3.0 yards per carry in 7 games a year before he gets injured. That's right. I remember he gets injured a lot. He was with Seattle. That's why they got now, Walker. Preseason of those players who were cut, they weren't even backups. Yeah, he was playing against, I think it was a third string. Was it Pittsburgh? I can't even remember who it was we played in that week 3 game, but it was Baltimore. Yeah, they were playing their second, third string guys right away. They didn't play any first string starters. But the way Rashad was running was totally different. Kalak says, one thing they got to get better, to throw a check down earlier. He was late on a lot of them, get the ball out of your hand and get the yards. Yeah, he looked frazzled like he hasn't all season. For memberships, do some shirts. I definitely buy one with the skull, lamppost, cannon, the wheel graphic you used to have in your vids. Yeah. Did you see Pewter Report? Your Pewter? I don't know, one of the Pewter guys. They're using it as their intro now, so I can't use it anymore. Like copycats. Hot Wheels. Well, I run on the 1-inch line out of the end zone. I know. Yeah, that was bad offensive play calling. He learned his lesson there, I think. You would think one of the veteran coaches would have said, no, let's not do that. Maybe a quarterback sneak would have been better. Just try and move out a little bit. Yes, Nate. Yes. Mike has dropped way too much. But he made some spectacular catches. He's made some great catches this year, but then he's dropped some serious. Last night, I counted 4, and 3 of them were quite crucial drops. If he would have made that touchdown that would have put us, I think it would have tied us with them at that time. That was the first half. Yeah, Molly was shocked. She was just, Joe says we don't need better running backs. We need better blocking. Let's do both. Let's get better running backs and better blockers. Yeah, the Lane Johnson false start was technically a penalty. There's a loophole that allows tackles to move their back foot before the snap, but they can't move their head, shoulders, and their foot. They move before the snap. Must hit the ground before the ball is snapped. I'm not 100% accurate, but the loophole is something like that. All right, I'm going to read up on that and see. I thought they could move, but they had to reset. And you'll see tackles do that sometimes where they'll actually move and then kind of put their arms on their knees right before the ball is snapped. And yeah, they saw your videos and stole your idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. Technically not a penalty. Okay. All right, we'll look at it tomorrow when we get to all 22 and really break it down. We'll get the rule book up and the all 22 up and see if we can figure it out. But it just looked like a penalty. Now, normally they don't call because most tackles do move, especially right tackles. They'll move before the ball is snapped. But that one was way, way, way too much. Nate says he's worried all the drops from Mark are going to affect Baker's trust in him. I think it's going to lead to Bell getting more targets. Bell? Well, Baker went right back to him last night. Kept throwing at him. Tom says, I think Thanos plays for the Eagles. He wears number 90. Yeah, no doubt, man. Their damn defensive line is so huge. But 95, 90, 91, and 93. That's like 2 tons of people, or a ton, anyhow. I looked up Iron Man 55. I used to collect old comics when I was a kid. I did have Iron Man 55 because I remember the Blood Brothers. Oh, it might have been coverless, yeah. Yeah, I think mine was like rated an 8, which was pretty good. Ended up selling it though. When Thanos, buy low, sell high. When Thanos' popularity really got up there, I was like, I got to get rid of this. Kind of hurts though. I'll buy it again later down the line. I used to have Iron Man number 2. But I went through a period when Marvel was really hitting. I was selling comic books left and right. Spider-Man 300. I had anyhow, had some pretty good ones. It seems like Baker is throwing the ball too high. Yeah, he definitely did on some of those passes. But, it was wet out there. And to Mike Evans, it's not too bad of a thing to throw it up high. He likes those circus catches. If Mike is trying to get big money, he needs to make big plays. He's not showing why he should get $15, $25 million a year. Put Godwin on notice, too. Yeah, I don't know if this is hurting Mike's plans for big money or not. It seems like there's always a dumb team out there that will overpay for players. I don't know if Mike wants to go to, the Cleveland Browns or the Arizona Cardinals or whatever. But, it seems like right now he's really doing a balancing act. He's making these great plays, but then he's really screwing up a lot too. So I think he's staying. It's just like this. I don't. I want us to keep him. I really do. But I don't want to break the bank for it either. Yeah, the rain definitely hurt our passing game. MH and helped them with the run game. As soon as it started pouring down and we were falling behind, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a slaughter now. Oh, 98 made White fumble. Yeah, the first black costume Spider-Man still. Yeah, that's worth some money, right? That was like $298, Amazing Spider-Man or something like that. That was Todd McFarlane artwork, wasn't it? Can't remember. Man, I used to love Todd McFarlane. I've got like 40 Spawn #1 comics. Had all the figurines and stuff. And I gave them all to my daughter. I was giving them out to kids, in the neighborhood. Jeremy says, I swear it kept raining whenever offense came out. Oh, maybe God's mad at us too. Wouldn't that be something? Cup's injury. Old players get injured. Situation of Mike's drops will hinder his value, in my opinion. Yeah, when you got people like Tyreek Hill out there speeding it up and blazing down the field, they're looking for speed now. Speed's going to be huge because of the Dolphins. Yeah, it's really going to hurt Mike. Yeah, and seeing these older wide receivers getting hurt. Yeah. 252? Really? I thought it was closer to the 300s. Hot Wheels GT, I think he's thinking about his contract, even though he says he's not. He's got to be. He's got to be. Every time that ball's in the air, he's like, I got to make this catch because it's going to help me get leverage on my contract situation. I hope he stays, man. I really do. I really do. Him and Levante, they mean a lot to me. Joe says, I didn't see any plays like the first two games. Maybe they were trying to fool the Eagles. Yeah, just stay who you are. Yes. Or be different in a dynamic way. I mean, we were way too conservative. I mean, even in the second half when I thought, okay, they're going to adjust, they're going to come out and realize that they got to be tricky. We didn't do anything that made you go, oh, they came up with a game plan to fool the Eagles. I mean, we were basically playing pretty much like we did last year. Same offense, it seemed like. That ain't fooling anybody. Our snap counts, we had Zion McCollum, David, and Winfield played 100% on a defense, about what you expect. Ryan Neal played 99%. He missed one snap. And Devin White missed 4. That was from when he got hurt, I assume. Or when he pulled up on his hammy. Whatever happened there. But Tryon got 50% of the snaps. Right here. Logan Hall got 49. We really rotated a lot of guys. And that's or 62% of the snaps at 50. And that's because they were just out there so much. I mean, I think everybody played. Look at this. The lowest one was Pitts, our cornerback, at 18 snaps. Delaney got 24. Yaya Diaby got 25 snaps. I would have rather seen him in there more than Tryon. Tryon just couldn't get any headway. Tryon's speedy, but he's not strong. Diaby's got much more strength, it looks like. I think they should have played Diaby a little bit more. Nelson got 33 snaps, but still that was only 41% of the snaps. That's so embarrassing. I mean, that's 33 snaps is usually, that's about 60% of a normal game. Barrett only got 57% of the snaps, but he played 46 snaps. Good grief. Gaines I liked him. I want to see him on film. I'm glad we got 42 snaps to watch him. See what he was doing out there. I've liked what I've seen from him. Oh, the artist, his wine friends, Rosen, do know who they are. The number is 252. Huh. I did not realize it was that early. So he kept that black costume for many, many editions, huh? That was such a good storyline. You know, it went from the black costume to Venom and then Carnage. Carnage was, man, that was a great villain. Just psychotic. But just, it was so cool. I've kind of liked the Venom movies a little bit. You know, they're okay. I don't think the Carnage character was done well. Yes, I did, JRV. I saw he just ran straight to the locker room as soon as the game was over. Mike Evans just ran to the locker room. And he also, when he made that touchdown, he just threw the ball up in the stands. He didn't go, and normally he'll hand it to, pick a kid out in the front row or whatever. Yeah, he just threw it in the stands and ran to the sidelines. Dean is more confident when Carlton Davis is out there. Yeah, something's definitely up with Dean. He's claiming an injury, a shoulder injury. Last week, you could tell there was definitely something wrong with him. And a couple times he made tackles and he was slow getting up. But Jalen Hurts was out there playing with flu-like symptoms. And Rondé Barber played for 16 years, never missed a game due to injury. Matter of fact, if you watch that documentary I was talking about yesterday, they have his picture up in the training room. And Scott Smith, one of the media guys for the Buccaneers, says it's kind of ironic because Rondé Barber would never, ever go in the training room. They would never knew if he was hurt or not. He would never go in. He would never let anybody know he was hurt. And he would not step foot in the training room. And the fact that they've got his picture in the training room now is pretty funny. I think how we end the season is whether Evans will go or not. The Glazers paid a lot the last 3 years. Brady contract bucks will be paying for a few more years. Yeah. We mortgaged our future a little bit. And, it's possible if we get to the trade deadline and we're not looking all that great, don't look like we're going to hit the playoffs or anything, I could see them trading him. Jacko says Baker's bad habit in Cleveland has resurfaced of staring down, locking on the one receiver all game. I did notice he threw to Mike a lot. We're going to look at that on the All-22. Because he didn't play like he's been playing either. Al says the bad thing on Diaby's college scouting was he was really bad at run defense. Maybe that's why he doesn't get a lot of snaps in the NFL. Yeah. Could be. And they were running on us. That's for sure, man. They just ran that ball right down our throats at will. That always hurts, man, when you got a team doing that to you. What's up, Craig? Yeah, long time no see, man. Shame you had to come back to talking about a loss. Yeah, but we're all doing all right. It was tough, but we realized it was the Eagles were defending NFC champions, and they are a good team, and we are pretty much a brand new team on offense. So we had our expectations way up here, which is not a bad thing. You got to have hope. Joe says the loss will be great for us because they know what the expectation is and how far away we are from where we need to be. That's the silver lining. You only learn through failure, right? Yes, Carnage and Vintage were awesome in the comics. Yeah, great characters, great storylines. It was really good story writing. It's one of the things I've had a real problem with the Marvel and the DC universe, the whole superhero things, is, people liked comic books because of the stories and the characters. It wasn't because of the poses or the the superpowers, or the social or the moral aspects of it. I mean, it was there definitely, but it was really the stories. And Spider-Man was my favorite, and it was really because of his character. He was just this guy, this kid who was funny as heck, but just thrown in this situation that just upended his life, and he was constantly struggling with having a normal life. And then I loved Iron Man because Tony Stark was an alcoholic, and that was such a big, huge storyline in the comic books. And then they didn't do it in the movie, and I was just so disappointed in that. He was a playboy alcoholic, and I mean, he'd go out to battles drunk with the Avengers, and they were like, "What are you doing, Tony?" So anyhow, it was always an issue with him. But I feel like with the Marvel movies, they got away from the characters and the storylines. They really did, I felt. Started making it all about really the cinematography. It's one of the problems I have with all art nowadays is I feel like it is controlled by production. The production is the real artist now. Like music, it's all written by a team of people, and the studios, the guys who produce the music, control everything. They're the ones making the music. Like you go and listen to the Beatles or Led Zeppelin or Pearl Jam or any of these guys live, they sound exactly like they do on their album, but you listen to any of these newer bands, you're like, what is this? It doesn't say. You can tell there's so much effects added and there's so much needed. They couldn't do an acoustic set. They couldn't do. Production is the majority of art now. And it's the same way in movies. Movies look fantastic. You can take any frame from a movie, watch a movie, a modern day movie, and pause it. And that could be a movie poster. Any frame. Almost every scene is just gorgeous and beautiful, and the blocking and the setup and the backdrops, everything is great. And that's where all the attention is being focused on. I really feel like the superhero movies have gone that way. And they're kind of played out too, but you've got, there's so much source material in the comic world, Okay. You're getting me way off track here, Al. But I agree with you, Joe. This loss is great because it brings us back down to earth, and it lets us see where we're at. I think it was a good learning lesson. JRV says Dean tackled a player and landed right on the injured shoulder, and you could see he was in pain. Our corners have to get healthy if we want to win any games this season. Yes. Yeah, I saw him there, and he's got this thing with his fingers. I don't know if Dean does. I don't know if it's a past injury or if it's just something he does. But if you look at his fingers, they're all like contorted. And when he was laying there, on his shoulder in pain, he had his hand up and it was like this. And I was like, did he break his hand or something? But then I remember, every time I see him in his hands, they look weird. It's like it's almost like his fingers aren't in the gloves and the gloves are just like flopping around. Craig says, I'm assuming you have already talked about the good and the bad. More bad, obviously. I would rather talk about Spider-Man comics, too. Good to see there are other nerds out there. Yeah, those nerds took over the world. It's so funny because I used to play in bands, had long hair, leather jackets. Was big into comics and computers, which was weird. I played heavy metal, played in heavy metal bands and stuff, and had these murals painted up in my house of comic book characters. But I also had punching bags, foosball tables, pool table, and a full bar in my house. Everybody was just like, you're the weirdest nerd in the world. Oh, and plus I wakeboarded all the time too. Big sports nut. And they're like, you're the weirdest nerd. And now guys like me are just common. It's just, I was a nerd before it was cool, I guess, is what I wanted to say. Hot Wheels, if we win 10 games, that's better than last year. Rather lose now than later in the year. Yes, this is true. 100% true. Because this happened last year. We started off hot last year. And then it just went. I hope that don't happen. I want to see constant improvement throughout the year. Oh, gosh, Nate, I know. They never follow the source material in Marvel movies, and it drives me nuts. But I'm an OG comic and cartoon fan, so I have pre-established ideals of the characters and their stories. Yes, I know. One of the things that drives me crazy about Spider-Man is they don't ever talk about his spider sense. I mean, that's like his biggest superpower is his spider sense. They touched on it in, I think it was Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, but they've never really... And they do that with all the movie superheroes, is they don't talk about their powers and their limitations and stuff. I mean, they're just... People would just like spontaneously have the power to create a force field or whatever, you know, and you're like, where's that coming from? They don't explain the powers, you know, which in the comics they very much do. And it's very, very annoying. Like I was a big fan of the Thor 1. Loved that movie. I thought it was great because it introduced us to the cosmic world. And they did great. You know, with the whole character of Thor, you know, in the comics, he was always thou shalt, you know, and all that good stuff. And, you know, he was kind of like that in the movies, but then they made him, you know, kind of a little funny towards the end of the movie there, you know, where he was being a human, you know, he's eating in the restaurant. And he's like, what is this? Bring me more. That was great. Then the second one, we just went stupid. And then the third one really went stupid. And this last one, I didn't even watch. I heard it was really bad. You know, they turned him into a joke. Joe says, we wanted to win this game, but everyone wants to win the next one. Yeah. We have to put that one to bed like the players do and move on. You are exactly right, Joe. Although we're going to watch all 22 and break it down. I always hate that, the coaches and the players, they move on, you know, after, which makes sense. You don't dwell on it. But you also want to know the mistakes you make. And it takes me normally a few days to go through the all 22. And so it'll be Wednesday or Thursday before I've got the all 22 down and feel like I have a real good sense of the game. And that's when I want to ask questions to the coaches and the players. And they're already moved on past it. They're like, we're not thinking about that anymore. We're moving on to the Saints game. And I'm like, but I just figured this out. Craig says, I have a life-size Spider-Man statue from the early 2000s movie. The first one? Won it in a Blockbuster drawing. It's my prized possession. I love it more than my kids. Craig, I know you don't mean that, but that's a good one. That's a good one. That first movie, it was actually my screensaver on my computer for like 2 years, and Sam Raimi did a great job with it. He was one of my favorite directors because he did, with Liam Neeson. Oh, that was a great movie. And I fell in love with him as a director. And, of course, Danny Elfman did the music. He also did the music to that Sam Raimi movie I'm talking about with Liam Neeson. Dang it. It's a great movie. Good movie, though. One of the first good comic book movies. Taylor Swift sounded the same in concert as her albums from 1989 and before. Nowadays, she doesn't sound the same. You a Swiftie, Al? What do you think about her and Travis Kelce? I didn't know she had albums from 1989. Or no, that had to be she'd have 1989, right? I mean, the bands can sound the same on the album. Like I used to watch, I used to go see 9 Inch Nails and Filter and all those guys. They're huge, heavily produced. You know, I mean, most of their album stuff isn't even done on instruments. It was all computer work. And, they could sound kind of the same in concert, but they needed all this equipment to do it, you know. You could definitely tell it wasn't just a bunch of guys up there playing instruments. Beyonce, what's up? Good synth bands from the 80s, Depeche Mode, Pet Shop Boys, Duran Duran, all sound real and the same as their albums in concert. Auto-tune ruined the entire industry for real artists. Yes. Yeah, it's the production. Production taking over art. You know, it's, you know, you've got all and production's an art too. You know, but now production controls everything. They're more sought after. Good producers are sought after more than the talent, than actual actors and singers and stuff like that. The new DiCaprio movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. MH, I might watch it when it comes out, you know, on streaming or something. Those type of movies, I've kind of gotten away from negative movies. I went through a period in 2014 where I was really, just by chance, I happened to stumble upon, I was doing some research, and I stumbled upon the Ukraine-Russia. It was when the Maidan Revolution and Ukraine-Russia started going at it, and the Islamic State stuff. And I started watching all these videos of the war between Ukraine and Russia and the Islamic State stuff that was going on. And it was absolutely horrendous stuff. Now, I've seen some horrible stuff in my life, but it was just nonstop. I was just, you know, I was like trying to keep up with the news type thing, keep current, but I was just consuming this stuff. And it was like death just started encroaching on my mind. I was thinking about death all the time. And I just had a baby. Yeah. And it really started freaking me out. I really started worried about her and everything. And it kind of, I wouldn't say I had a breakdown, but I realized that it wasn't good for me to be consuming all this negative stuff. So I cut out watching all that stuff, and I cut out watching horror movies and negative things. Molly is such a positive person. She really just likes fun and happy stuff, whereas I'm the exact opposite. I like, you know, heavy metal music and morose stuff and horror movies and all that. And I realized it was affecting my mental state. So I cut all that stuff out, and it's really helped out a lot. You know, whatever goes in here stays in there permanently. So I try to avoid negative movies now. And Killers of the Flower Moon, I'm just kind of like, you know, it's like I tried to watch The Revenant with DiCaprio. And I got like, I don't know, about a half hour into it. And the thing with him and his kid, and then the bear scene and everything. And I was just like, you know, I don't want to watch all this negative stuff. You know, it's weird. Craig says, as long as we don't lose to Winston and the Saints on Sunday, I'll be very happy with the first quarter of the season. I agree, Craig. Starting 3-1 will be far better than most expected. Yes. Be a lot better than I expected. Oh, I know. Nate, I know. Flash Thompson. It ruined his character. Ruined him. Yeah. That was very disappointing. That Spider-Man was kind of not good all the way around. Craig says, I'm known for my bad luck and not winning anything like that, so it's pretty amazing I won it. Technically, I was second. You were actually second. The actual drawing winner didn't want it. Hey, Craig. There's a guy named Darren Brown. He did a little short thing, I think it was like a half hour long, on luck with this whole town. He's British. This whole town, he did this like kind of like a prank on this whole town. It was fascinating about how your mental state really affects how lucky you are. Check it out if you ever get a chance. Darren Brown. 41 total rushing yards against the Eagles. Is Rashad or the O-line the bigger problem? Do we need to trade for a number one running back with more experience? I miss Super Bowl Lenny. Yeah, I don't know how good Lenny would be in this scheme, Yeltsin. But I do agree. He probably would have run better than Rashad last night. I think it's more the running back, because this zone blocking, the offensive line really can't screw up a whole lot. It's really up to the running back to decide where to go. And Rashad just seems like he hasn't figured it out yet. He's too hesitant. You know, I mean, you gotta go. You run with the offensive line at first, and then as you're running, you're looking, and then you make a decision, you cut, and you go. And he's not doing it. JRV thinks that Evans' poor performance will fuel him even more for next week. He always shows up versus the Saints. I think I'll make up for last night. Yeah. This could be fun. The Bucs players should watch the All-22 with us. They should. I often wonder how much they watch. Do defensive players watch the offense All-22, or do they just get cut-ups? Because it's kind of like a game. You know how when you watch a football game, there's this ebb and flow, and there's almost a story that gets built around the game. It's the same thing with the All-22. It's a different story than the broadcast version, but you'll see an ebb and a flow. And I feel like if you just cut up the tape and just show the defensive guys their stuff, they're missing out on part of the story. If that makes any sense. So I wonder if they watch all of the All-22 or not. Probably not. They got time for that mess. Darkman, yes, Darkman. Great movie. It's actually the movie that turned me on to Sam Raimi, Liam Neeson, and Danny Elfman. Although Danny Elfman had done Nightmare Before Christmas. He had done some stuff before, but in that movie, I saw, wow, he's really got a broad spectrum of he's our modern day John Williams. Who cares about relationships? It doesn't have to be on SportsCenter. That's right. Yeah, Al, you never did talk about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Or did you? Let me go back real quick. Nope. Yeah, Hot Wheels. I'm not really happy about it, but I wanted to see what Al had to say first. 1989 is the name of the album. Okay, I get it. I had no idea. Yes, Hot Wheels. That's what I was going to say. She's going to mess up his career, and then she's going to write a song about it. She's going to break up with him and write a song about how horrible he was and toxic masculinity in football. I guarantee it's coming. I guarantee it. And then we're going to have all these, let me see if Al's saying, okay, we're going to have all these Swifties who are now watching football that are going to start complaining about it because that's huge in the Swiftie world. It's gonna be a disaster, I think. Yeah, Craig. Yeah, if you get a chance, look it up. He's got a bunch of videos, and they're all great. Well, not all of them, but they're pretty good. Some of them are really great. Some of them are amazing. But the one about luck, my dad was like that. My dad always said he was the most unluckiest person in the world, and he was. But as Darren Brown shows in the video, how you see yourself is really how things are going to work out. And he proved it with these people, you know. It was really fascinating. There was a guy in the video, in the documentary, that reminded me of my dad, who, you know, was like, I'm the most unluckiest person I know of. And Darren Brown kind of showed him why. So, Rashad White thinks he's the next Le'Veon Bell, except Bell was actually half decent. Yeah, he was. It was kind of weird what happened to him. You know, he went to the Jets, and I thought he was going to do something, but you see so often these running backs now, you know, they just, they go to a different team and that's it. They don't have the life. It's not even life expectancy. It's, I don't even know what to call it. Running backs just aren't like they used to be, you know, where you would get the franchise running back that would be a bell cow that would play for the same team for 8-10 years, you know, and still be good. You know, now they're leaving after 4 years and they're going to another team, and then they're stinking it up at the other team, and you're like, Yeah, JRV. I remember we did a sweep or a toss, and he had 3 blockers in front of him, talking about Rachaad White. And he couldn't choose the hole that he wanted to run through. And it looked to me like there was 2 of them there. And he kind of hesitated and ended up getting tackled. I see him. He's not being decisive enough. Just don't date him, Taylor. But Craig's lucky in life. Oh, not in games. Dice rolls in games I play prove it. Dude, I used to be so lucky. I mean, it was weird. I used to listen to the radio. I won so many call-ins. I would just sit there. They would have this, okay, the 5th caller that calls in now wins tickets to go see whatever. And I would just sit there. And then I would go, okay. And then I would pick up the phone and call and win almost every time. It was really weird. I was out working at night one time, and they were giving away tickets to Van Halen. Gosh, I can't remember what tour it was. This was in the early 90s. And I really wanted to go to this concert. And they said they had put the tickets somewhere in the city I was living in. And they were going to give clues all throughout the night and into the morning before, and if nobody got it, they would tell everybody where it was at. But whoever went there and got the clues, or whoever figured it out through the clues, could go get the tickets. So anyhow, I was sitting in this parking lot in front of a Kmart. This was about 1:00 at night. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to the radio, and this guy's explaining, he's like, yeah, we're doing this contest. We're giving out clues. And whoever figures out the clues, we're going to call the payphone and let them tell us where they're at, and we're going to tell them the answer. And I was sitting there, and I looked over, and there was a set of payphones right in front of this Kmart. And I just, all over me, I was like, that's the payphone they're going to call. But I was working, so I had to go, and I was like, I'll come back later. And they said throughout the night, I think it was once every hour, they were going to call that payphone. Whoever answered it, so I went. I had to do this job. Anyhow, I came back, and I ended up forgetting about it or something, or I got back late. And sure enough, it ended up being that they had taped the tickets to the bottom of that payphone booth, or payphone out in front of the Kmart. And I was like, I should have just walked over there and felt underneath, took the tickets. But yeah, I used to have incredibly good luck, crazy good luck. But it really was a mental state. I just, I thought I had good luck, so I did have good luck. Tom, should I admit this? Yes. Do it. We're all friends here. What are you talking about? Give us a scoop, man. Hot Wheel says, guys seem not to stay with her long. I think we all could figure out why. I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't date a musician with a hazmat suit on. Not that they got disease or anything, but they will write a song about you. I mean, look at Primus, when known as Big Brown Beaver. I mean, that's going down in history. I would never date a musician, especially Taylor Swift, because that's like 90% of her songs. Ugh. How do I feel about Sunday? I feel good about it. Injuries and all. I think they're banged up. We're banged up. I feel good about it. Yeah, especially if we're going to play Jameis Winston. Well, we beat him every time we played him, right? Twice with the Saints now. And they look like trash. They looked like trash against Carolina, and then they look like trash against, who was it? The Chargers? Who was it they played Sunday? Anyhow, they were up like 17 points going into the fourth quarter, and then just, yeah. I don't have the fear of the Saints that I did starting the year. Hit that like button. We've been forgetting to say that. No, Joe, I stopped having good luck, and it really is a mindset. I had an incident that was extremely unlucky, and I told myself when it happened, I went, oh, there goes all my good luck. This is the turn in my life where my luck has run out. And ever since then, that thought has always been there. I mean, my luck is kind of normal now. Tom was a Swiftie. Hey, ain't nothing wrong. I'll tell you, as a musician, her music is, it's definitely pop, but it's so hard to listen to because it's the same chord progressions almost every single time. 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4. These are pop song chord progressions, but she overdoes it. I mean, I would say almost half her songs are, just regular pop chord progressions. And it's kind of hard to listen to for me because I'm just like, but I do recognize, she's excellent at what she does and easy on the eyes too. They lost to the Packers. Oh, that's right. It was the Packers. That's right. I need to watch that all 22. Maybe if we finish up this Eagles, but I don't think we will. Finish up the Eagles all 22 this week. We'll watch the Packers Saints game because I want to see what happened there. I watched the Packers. I've watched the first 2 weeks, all 22, and totally not impressed with them at all. Matter of fact, I think they were pretty crappy. But I want to see what they look like against the Saints. Rampage says, living in Missouri, everyone has been talking about Swift and Kelsey. I didn't think I could hate the Chiefs more. What's the obsession with her? No curves, bad music, high body count. Right? She's really into that girl power. She's really, she's got a huge following of, I want to say, late 20s, 30s women, who I feel like they've gotten a shaft in life. I mean, she's got a lot of different fans, of course, as Tom will attest to. But a large part of her appeal is that, I don't want to say narcissism, but that woe is me. The 90s really had a period of music with men, the grunge and all that stuff, where it was this whiny, my parents were horrible, thing. It was really self-centered and woe is me type music. And it's kind of what I see with the Swift stuff, but it's happy poppy woe is me. It's really strange. I'm always, men never treating me right and all that good stuff. Tom could probably explain it better, but she's definitely got a team of people that are very good at the marketing and the pop design, the production of her music. Oh gosh, Hot Wheels, I know. The team I don't want to play is the Niners. Yes, no, and we got to play them. So we're playing the 2 best teams in the NFC. We got the Eagles out of the way, and I think the Niners are better. I think the Niners have better talent. The Eagles might be better in the trenches, though. So it'll be interesting to see those two teams play. Back to you, Rampage. No curves. Yeah, she doesn't have any curves. She's got nice legs, though. Bad music, I touched on that. And high body count, right? Wouldn't it be interesting if we found out she was a virgin? Because she's dated so many guys. 87, Kelsey's jersey sales went up 400%. I know. And look, we're sitting here talking about it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good for football. I could see when they break up, it's going to be a disaster for football. And that's assuming that they're a legitimate item, right? Do we have confirmation on that? We're still going 12-5. There we go, MK. There we go. That's what we need in here. Some of that good old optimism, that hopium. Bring it. I want to look at these, the big plays. Here we go. Okay, 10 longest plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. They had 34. Okay, look, their top 10 got down to 15 yards. They didn't have. Okay, so they didn't have a single play in the top 10 under 10 yards. That's usually what I look at when I look at this. We only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays over 10 yards in this game. I saw a thing where they ran. How many times did they run? They ran 40 times and they only had 1 negative run. I saw that. I was like, what? We just got physically beat up. I mean, to me, it looked like our defense in the fourth quarter was tired, hurt. They didn't want to tackle. You know, and I'm not saying they were loafing or giving up, but they looked very slow. Nice for the other South teams with easy schedules while we were in it. Yeah. Taylor equal Yoko Ono for the Chiefs. Oh, Joe, I will not be mad. If she pulls a Yoko Ono on the Chiefs, I will not be mad. You saw Travis Kelce, he's doing the Taylor Swift. You know, he kneeled before the game. He did the COVID shots. And now the Chiefs, there's this big uproar about the signatures, about doing the tomahawk thing. I guarantee you he will be out there talking about we need to stop doing the tomahawk thing in the stands. Watch. He's going to be saying that. He'll probably even do a video of it, put it out there. I'll see how that goes with the fan base. The fan base loves him so much, they'll probably be like, okay, we'll stop just because you asked it to. She celebrated Kelsey's touchdown like he had just won the Super Bowl. It's the Bears in week 3, man. She probably doesn't know the difference. She's like, the Super Bowl? Oh, you mean that thing I play in at halftime? No mate says 40. 100 offensive yards last night? I think we barely did. I think we got like 167. Let me see if I can find it here. Mayfield got 146 yards passing. So yeah. I know there was at one point, I think before the half, we didn't have 100 yards. Okay, here we go. Total yards. We had 174 yards. They had 472. Oh, I don't mean to laugh, but man. Oof. Laughing's better than crying, right? Kelsey has better taste than her. Look at his past girlfriends. I have never looked at his past girlfriends. I'll have to look them up. Change the Chiefs' names, right? Right? What's fair is fair, man. Change them to the Redskins went to the Commanders, so the Chiefs can be the Lieutenants. Tomahawk chop is a Florida State thing in my mind. So they copied Florida State. Hot Wheels didn't think he could dislike the Chiefs anymore. Best thing about the Chiefs is we whooped them in the Super Bowl. Funniest sports-related news. What is that? You were a Swiftie, Tom? What happened? Are you still a Swiftie, or you just Don't want to admit, or did something happen? Rumor has it Obama is dating Mahomes. Oh, y'all killing me. Oh, glad we could laugh today. Lucas, do you think Devin White will get a long-term contract with us? No, I do not, Lucas. Well, one, he's got to heal up from this injury. I predicted that he was going to ball out this year. He was really going to play well, and we were not going to sign him. You know, he's looking for a huge contract. He's wanting $100 million. So, you know, break that down, 5 years, we'll say, at $100 million. So he's looking for about $20 million a year, and we are not going to pay him that much. Although we can't pay him that much, not really. So but then again, I think he's Todd Bowles' favorite player. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think we will, though. Clack says, this was a GM we need the offense. This is a game we need the offense to produce in order to compete, and failed miserably. Yes. Yeah, the offense just it was bad all the way around. Baker didn't play well. He didn't make good decisions. He was hesitant. So was Rachaad White. I felt like they both were a little skittish. The play calling was not good. Was not impressed with that at all on both sides of the ball. And, of course, our defense just got punched in the face. Yeah, the offense had to produce, and they just didn't do it. You know, there's a point where sticking with the run game is more pig-headed, you know, and that was kind of how it was last night. I mean, there was a point where you go, okay, we're just not doing anything with the run. We got to chunk this ball down the field. Oh, I saw that, Tom. A group of Indians are suing the Washington football team because they find the name Commanders offensive. Yeah, and they were talking about how the actual picture on the side of the Redskins logo was an actual guy who did all these wonderful things. And, you know, they're saying that y'all are taking away Indian heritage here, which is true. It's all a mess. It's the grievance industry. You know, there's a whole industry that is just, they just go around and they find things to get upset about, and they just start suing people and they make money off of it. And, you know, it's a huge industry. The same people that got the Commanders name changed is probably the same people that are now trying to get it changed back. They're making money both ways. I guarantee you. It's the same lawyers. It's all silly, man. It's all silly. The Kansas City Swifties. Yes. Oh, that's their new name. Let's see. MH asks, what is a Swiftie? Did anybody answer? A Swiftie is a fan of Taylor Swift. She's got a huge, strong fan base. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did too, Tom. When she was young and doing the country, she was great. You really felt like she was coming from a place of, I don't want to say innocence, but it was coming from her, I felt. And then, man, she blew up, and it just, you know, it was pop music. And, you know, now I don't even think she probably doesn't even sit in the writing room anymore with her songwriters. You know, it's like they got a formula for all the songs, and they just regurgitate. Yeah, she's turned into Britney Spears. Mm-hmm. Without the craziness, right? Or maybe she is crazy. That's why she can't keep us staying in a relationship. I don't know. Someone better let Baker and the rookies know what beating the Saints mean to us. Yeah, Joe, you know, that might be the problem, is we did not send that voicemail yesterday to Todd Bowles about all the stuff we came up with to beat the Eagles. We need to send them a text or an email. Dang, Hot Wheels. You were a Debbie Gibson fan. That was back in the days. Wasn't she the one that got famous for handing out cassette tapes in malls or CDs. I can't remember, was it cassette tapes or CDs? Wasn't that her? And that's how she blew up? Oh, MH, yeah. Taylor Swift is like, she like changes economies when she goes and does tours. It's like so many people go to her concerts that she's made almost $500 million in this last concert tour she did. And so many people, tickets were going for like $2,000 for the crappy seats. And so many people couldn't get tickets that now it's either HBO or Netflix is doing a live concert for her, for all the people that didn't get to go to her concerts. Yeah, she's a phenomenon right now. Craig says, if you put both whites together, it would be the perfect player. Devin runs ahead, pursues a lot, and Russia tiptoes and thinks too much. That is, can we do that? Can we like mix their DNA together or squish them together or something? This Kansas City gay stats. Oh, no. Oh, Tom, you've seen a demonic side to her? Really? Tell us all about it. Tiffany. Oh. That's a tough one. Debbie Gibson over Tiffany. I'll let Hot Wheels answer that one. Although I think he's going to say Debbie Gibson. When is Cansey going to play? We really, really could have used him last night. And I know, and I'm getting very frustrated with these injuries. It's been 3 years of injuries. And actually you could go back a lot longer than that, but 2020 we were pretty healthy going into the playoffs. But Vita Vea got hurt that year, and we had some injuries. But I don't know, man. Growing up watching football, I do not remember injuries like this, where it was just every week star players were out. It might be me reminiscing in a positive aspect or whatever, but I just don't remember guys. To me, I remember guys playing hurt or guys just playing all the time. I don't remember guys sitting out injured as much as they do now. And I think we think about injuries so much. I'm a big believer on what you focus on becomes reality. So if you're thinking of injuries, you're going to get injured. And we've got, was it Advent Health? That's our sponsor. It's all over the stadium. Our practice facility is right beside the medical building there in Tampa, the Advent Health Medical Building. I mean, it's right there. You could see the hospital from the practice field, And if you're thinking injury all the time, you're going to get injured. It's like the famous thing of, don't think of a polar bear. What do you automatically do? You automatically think of a polar bear. If you don't want to think of a polar bear, you tell somebody to think of flowers. They'll think of flowers. They won't even think of a polar bear. But if you're constantly focusing on injuries are going to be a part of your reality. Rampage, yes, thanks. Don't get me banned, man. It's hard. It's hard. I'm constantly catching myself from saying stuff because YouTube is strict. All these social media places, they're strict about stuff you can say. It's kind of hard for me because I didn't grow up with all this restrictions on what you could say in that. If you say something stupid, people call you out on it. The people that like Taylor Swift also love the Barbie movie. Hot Wheels, I want to see that Barbie movie. My daughter wanted to see it, but I told her no, I'm not going to take it. I think it's made for grown-ups. It's not made for kids, which I think is kind of crappy. Because Barbies is definitely, she loves Barbies. My daughter loves Barbies. But I've heard a lot about it, and I want to watch it for myself to see if it's what I think it is. Yes, LMH, Alvin Kamara comes back this week, which, we've done a pretty decent job ever since he's been in the league of not letting them whoop us. So, and plus he's gone downhill the past few years. I'm not much worried about him, and he's probably not going to be in football shape either. The Ryan Jensen injury was the worst. They never told us anything. I know what I don't know what it is with Bowles, but he doesn't say anything about anything. I mean, he gives coach speak when he does speak. His press conferences now are down to around 3 to 4 minutes. But he never says anything, even when he does talk. But yeah, the whole Ryan Jensen stuff, we didn't know all year last year what was going on with Ryan Jensen. Nothing. So annoying. I mean, I get that you don't want your adversaries to have information, but dang, what about us fans? Oh, Tom, I did not know that. His former girlfriends are all African Americans. Huh. Yeah, that's a big jump there, right? Did not know that. Fantasy sports puts injuries in your face. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm seeing them now more because of fantasy. Yeah, this season, JRV, it seems like they're coming fast this year too. Lucas says, I feel like no one is talking about Tristan Wirfs. I did not think he was going to play as good as he has, switching sides. Yeah, I was kind of confident that he was going to be able to handle left tackle. We haven't really seen him mess up too bad on the game film. He hasn't dominated though, but that's the thing with Tristan Wirfs. When he was playing right tackle, I would get kind of aggravated with him because, I mean, he's very dominant, but he's not aggressive. He wouldn't. I don't want to use the word be mean, but it's really not be mean. It's you need to throw guys down. You need to slam guys into other guys. You need to physically manhandle these guys. And playing left tackle, you really need to do that because you're going up against usually the better pass rushers over there. And it's a good idea to let them know who's boss. And that's the only knock I've got on him. And I definitely haven't seen any of that out of him this year. We've seen a couple plays where he's messed up, but it seems like it's more of he's not getting beat as much as it is miscommunication issues. But yeah, I think most people kind of felt like he was going to do okay over there. But yeah, it's just kind of been like, yeah, it's Tristan Wirfs. Yeah, let's talk about Hainsey or whatever. Yeah, you're right though. He's not getting the recognition he deserves. Yeah, I'm not going to let my kids watch the Barbie movie, MH. Just from what I've heard of it, it's made for. I'm very strict about what my kids watch, and there's just so much stuff that gets by out there, that I just don't agree with. And they'll slip it in, so you kind of have to scope things out beforehand. But because what I've heard from the Barbie movie is it's definitely directed towards adults. Got a lot of adult humor in it and stuff. Barbie movie puts down men, how they don't need men, not for kids. Yeah, that's Hot Wheels. That message has been ramped up. Definitely here in the past few years, past decade a lot. But it's been going on for a while. It's been working its way. But now it's really the main message in society. It's one of the Marvel movies, they do it. men are what's the word? Expendable. They're goofy. I mean, I was watching My Name is Earl. I was watching a clip of that on YouTube the other day, and I was like, and so I sat down and started thinking about, it was My Name is Earl, The Big Lebowski, Jay and Silent Bob. There was a whole list of iconic shows that really showed men in the slovenly, weak, characters that were just dumb and all that. And it's been something in the culture for quite a while. But the thing about the Barbie movie that I heard is at the end, Ken realizes what's going on and he kind of takes over. And it makes everybody realize that you need both sexes, and I'm a big believer in that. So if that's the message that the movie eventually gets to, that'll be cool. That's why I want to see the movie. I don't think society is designed for either sex to dominate over the other. They both need to work together. They both have their pros and cons and everything. It's kind of like the human body. I see men as the antibodies in the human body, and women as the like the blood cells. If you don't have one, you ain't gonna live much longer. Tom says, no matter what he does, Kelsey will never be Rob Gronkowski. Right? On or off the field. Ever seen Gronk's lady friends? Camille Kostek. I've seen them. I didn't know they had names. Yeah, Gronk's a partying dude, man. He's generally got some pretty women hanging around with him. And Kelsey, what's up with that mustache? That's the Tom Selleck mustache, right? Or the Village People mustache? I think it might be because we have access to all this media and information, so it's easier to find out when someone's injured. I know. It's hard to tell. You're right, JRB. I'd really like to see somebody do a breakdown. Go back and get the records that we can, and see if injuries have increased or not. It just seems like to me, growing up, it wasn't until, God, I want to say 15 years ago, maybe, is when I really started noticing people getting injured all the time. And it was kind of like accepted that, your star player is going to be out 2 or 3 weeks of the year. I mean, that's how it is now. You don't see any more Tom Brady's or Rondé Barbers or, these Iron Men. That's one of the things that got me so upset with the New York Giants. I will never have any respect for that organization for what they did to Eli Manning. They just arbitrarily decided to not start him 1 week. I mean, he was on that Iron Man streak, and they just said, yeah, we're going to start this other guy for no reason. I had no respect for them for that. That was a jerk move. Oh, man. Did not realize I was so far behind. Damn. Demonetized. Yeah. Yeah, do it, Tom. Man, I hope I'm so far behind. You're probably already ranting. Go ahead and rant. Asking Bowles questions is like asking blind questions. Oh, y'all killing me. Ugh. That's a good one. I think that injuries are in our face more because we have so many sports, football news sources now. Back in the day, if it wasn't in the paper or on the news, nobody knew. Yeah, we do so many. I mean, I remember back when SportsCenter was really the only place. And I was so excited when the NFL Network got their own channel because I was thinking, big dummy me, that they were going to show football all the time. I was like, man, they got this whole library of games. They could do film analysis. They could break down stuff. They could show old games. Nah, it turned into The View for men. Craig says, it also seems like there were less superstar players 20 plus years ago in the NFL. Yeah, that's true too. That's true. Every player had one, maybe two. Every team. Maybe. No, not every team. Yeah. Maybe half the teams had maybe one or two. Yeah. Yeah, and we hear about, if the backup cornerback gets injured, we're going to get an alert on our phone for that. JRB says, I'm pretty sure I saw a clip on the Pat McAfee show where A.Q. Shipley, the backup to Jensen on the Bucs, said that Jensen basically had little to no knee cartilage in his injured knee. Yeah, he might be done. That's the feeling I get anyhow. He's only played, one game in a year and a half now? Jensen and don't kill me, but Kyle Turley have been my favorite O-lineman since I started watching. No doubt. Kyle Turley, he was a madman. He was a madman. Yes, I definitely love Jensen's attitude. We had that center we got from the New England Patriots that he was a beast too. Let me bring up, I hate that I can't remember this stuff. Gosh, what year was that? Seems like it starts with an M. He was a beast, a monster, a fighter. I gotta try and remember what year that was. Logan Mankins. Yeah. Logan Mankins, he was a beast too. But the best offensive lineman I've ever seen was the guy we got from New Orleans Saints. I brought him up a couple weeks ago. And unfortunately, he ended up getting MRSA and he had that toe issue. So he only played a handful of games for us. But when he was with the Saints and when he was with us, he was incredible. I never saw him get beat, not once. And I saw defensive linemen avoid going up against him constantly. Was it Carl Nix? Is that what I'm thinking? Anyhow, let me catch up with the chat here. Kyle Turley, that's so funny. Tristan's leg isn't false starting, I know, right? Maybe he needs to. If everybody else is going to do it. I did not know that, JRV. In the U.S., there's a cap to the amount of knee cartilage you can get replaced. That sounds silly enough that it would be a thing. MH, it's not for kids. Yeah, that's what I heard, so I'm just going to watch it myself for the philosophy of it, the cultural aspect. All right, Tom, here we go with the rant. I'm a Brady fan, and I came over to the Buccaneers with Brady. So I haven't been around long, but the angriest I've been as a Buccaneers fan is Ryan Jensen get hurt on the day of practice. Yes. And on a non-contact drill. That's on Todd Bowles. That doesn't happen in Patriots camp or Chiefs camp. Yeah. And it was Gedeke. I want to say it was Gedeke. Blocked a defensive lineman into Jensen's leg. I actually have a clip of it on the channel. And it was one of those where you're just like, oh my God, what are we doing? That's like football 101. And you're right. It was, yeah. It was definitely something where, the coach is screwed up there. You know, Yeah. Yeah, I was upset too. So Jensen was thinking about getting an operation done in Germany for knee cartilage because outside of the U.S. you can get much more cartilage, like a lot more, but he never ended up doing it, I think. Yeah, he went with non-surgical repair, whatever that is, like therapy or something. Yeah, the Pauly Shore movies. Yeah, they were bad too. Yep. Yes. Yeah, and you had the Dude, Where's My Car? You had, which was a funny movie. I loved it. The Bill and Ted. There was just there was like a decade where it was just, let's really dumb down. It was like the slacker generation, Let's really make men weak and listless, no purpose in life, The first time I remember seeing it was, or this whole bashing men thing. I know it's been around for a while, but like my mom was a real man basher. But was The Cosby Show and Home Improvements. Both of them, the men in that were like subservient to the wives. The wives were really dominant, and would always crack jokes about it, at the men's expense, and the men would just be like, oh yeah, the women wore the pants in the family. And then there was that show, The Dinosaurs. Is that the name of it? Dinosaurs, which was a pretty good show. These dinosaurs in the big outfits and everything. It was like the modern day Simpsons, but real life and dinosaurs. And then the Simpsons came along, and it's been a thing ever since. Oh. Kostek is Sports Illustrated swimsuit model and Gronk's girlfriend. I had to do some research into that there, Tom. Got to check on it. Every team's quarterback is considered a star now. Most every team's number one wide receiver is a star too, yes. Plus, with social media, a lot of players make their own news with their posts. Yeah, they're pushing, they're marketing their own brand. Everybody's a marketer now. Mike Williams' death being investigated? Really? Oh, no. Visitors may have brought him unprescribed. Oh, no. No. Wouldn't that be something? He goes through all that, makes it out of life support. I hope that's not the case, man. I hope that's not the case. Carl Nix. Yeah, it was Carl Nix. It was Stinney that threw the defender on... maybe it wasn't Gedeke. I don't even think he was drafted at the time. Stem cell injections in the knee. Okay, that's what he got. Aaron Stinney, okay. And Logan Hall, yeah, it was Logan Hall that went into, right, it was Logan Hall that went into Jensen's leg. Real life and dinosaurs. Tom's done some research on Gronk's girlfriend. I bet you've done more than some, Tom. Bet you're a pro. You got all the stats. I'm gonna do some research too, man. Got to check this stuff out. Oh my goodness. Whew, so what do we guys think, man? I think we're all feeling better. I was not feeling good last night. It was kind of sad. But I'm feeling better today. I want our secondary to not not go through this crap again where everybody's hurt and we're getting whooped. And, these guys are out for 3 or 4 weeks. Me and Molly were talking about it. When I told her Carlton Davis was out, she was like, oh, well, Dean's going to go out next. And sure enough, Dean went out. And then I said, well, it's Winfield's turn now, right? It's like that's the progression we've had every year. And I don't like it, man. Don't like it. They got to fix that. Somehow, some way. And we just signed these guys to some big money contracts. And what about that tush push with the Eagles? How come nobody's figured out how to stop that yet? I've got an idea. I think the Bucs kind of tried to do something last night where they jumped over the line. We had like 4 guys just jumped over the line. And I think at one point, one of our big guys jumped over. I don't think it was Vita. I don't think he could jump that high. It was Golston. Golston could jump. He's got some ups. But I don't think that's the way you do it. I think the way you would do it, there could be 2 ways. One is just to collapse, just fall down immediately and create a wall of bodies, But I don't know how effective that would be. But I think the most effective way to do it would be they're going forward. I think the most effective way to be would be to be like almost like a down block. Everybody push right or left, on the defensive line. Just go left or right. And I'm talking about a hard cut and try to get those guys' momentum working against them, because they're pushing forward really hard. And I think if you came at them from the side, hit them from the side, you take that momentum and push it to the side, all of a sudden you've got a whole wall of people that are just blocked. There are no gaps, It's a thought. But it's one of those things that how do you practice that? You got to really do a lot of contact with that. Somebody will figure it out. Y'all got any ideas? Yes, Beast, there you are. Yes, the Eagles' run game did kill us, man. We were saying, Rashad White got 38 yards on 14 carries. Swift got 130 yards on 16 carries. 130 yards. They got 201 yards total on us. We had 41 yards total. Ooh. That's a beatdown right there. Rampage says, the Saints game is very important. The D needs to get players who have been out on the field and they can rest after that. Yeah. Yeah, we've got our bye week is week 5, right? So, yeah, we need to go out there and play, leave everything on the field. We got a week to rest after this. Ilmh is chalking this one up to the rain. We have heart and effort, run game and run defense needs to be tweaked. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. And it honestly should have been a lot worse, I think. They were in our red zone, 6 times? And only scored 27 points? Where's Kate at, by the way? She ended up winning the predictions. She was first. She predicted 21-10, and she predicted 2 interceptions from the Buccaneers. I was spot on. She did also predict 5 sacks from the Bucs, but that didn't happen. Lucas, you predicted 28-24 Eagles. Al was 24-20. JRV, you were 24-21 Eagles. One, two, three, four, five. I got to get a better system here because this is hard to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. MH, did you predict the Eagles? I've got you 24-27, but I squeezed so many people in at the last minute that I can't tell what line they're on. Yeah, once the quarterback gets hurt, they'll quit doing it. Yeah. Maybe that's the way you stop it, is you end up hurting the quarterback. Yeah, JRV, I was behind on the thing too. They corrected me. It was Aaron Stinney and Logan Hall. Logan Hall's the one that got pushed into Ryan Jensen by Aaron Stinney. I know, Craig. Yes. The only person I've ever seen him talk on the sidelines, or actually kind of chew out a little bit, is Jamel Dean. Craig asks, how come we never see Bowles talking to anyone on the sidelines? Every other coach is always in communication with someone. Bowles just stands there silent. Yeah, I know. He doesn't like yell at the refs. Every now and then he'll give that face of like, come on, guys. You know, but you never see him talking to anybody. Tom said, honestly, I knew that this was a bad matchup for us. Both of their lines are dominant, and our O-line is fair. Yeah. Their O-line would neutralize our D-line, which is normally pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You are correct. And, you know, that was my brain was saying that, but I just couldn't. I was so high on the hopium with the Bucs, I just couldn't pick the Eagles, man. Yeah, Beast. The Eagles' O-line were opening up huge gaps. But the one thing with Swift was he was getting the ball and he was running straight ahead. He wasn't dancing around like Rashad was doing. And Mike Evans' catch was insane. That's the one I put on the thumbnail. Like, that was a great catch. Almost made up for the 4 drops he had. Yeah, the Eagles are just better than us, Tom. I agree. I don't know about their 2 wide receivers, but everybody keeps saying it, so I'll say they're good. Kate picked the Bucs 21-10? Are you sure? I've got her down twice, actually, as Eagles. Uh-oh. If that's true, then that means we're going to have to do some math here. I will have to let everybody know tomorrow then. You got the timestamp on that, Al Bundy? I'll have to go back and watch it. Yeah, I agree, Tom. I don't think Hurts is, an elite quarterback. I mean, he's definitely getting elite production and work done, but I think his offensive line is just, they're really good. Oh, that's right. It was a scoregami, JRV. I actually had that down in my notes. I haven't even looked at my notes yet. Yeah, 25-11 was a scoregami. Time of possession was 38-55, the Eagles, to 21-05, Buccaneers. That is just unbelievably atrocious. And what was up with the stadium? For one, we didn't sell out. And two, most of the fans, especially in the lower parts of the stadium, were Eagles fans. I mean, you could hear it on the screen. I got to stop that, man. What can we do to get the stadium filled up with Buccaneer fans?
This is a reminder.
It is odd how many quarterback sneaks we have done in NFL history, and no one has had a crushed spine from it. I know. And I've also found it strange how nobody's had a crushed head either. Helmet flies off, and I've been waiting for that for like 50 years. Helmets don't fly off as much as they used to. Now they've got those straps like going from up here to down here. And used to, it was just like the one. Bowles is that middle school coach. Could you? He'd probably make a great middle school coach. You like how Bowles is cool. calm and collected. He reminds me a lot of Dungy, although Dungy would yell at the refs, and Dungy would he would talk. You definitely see him chattering with players on the sidelines. Bowles just doesn't talk to anybody, really. But they both would do that face. Dungy would do that face to the refs all the time, too. That, come on, guys. You know, Bowles does that. As long as Bowles can keep the defense in the top 10, you won't be calling for a new head coach. Yeah, right now I'm okay with Bowles. You know, I like the progress I've seen out of Logan Hall and Tryon. I like the way the team played first couple weeks. I'm liking Canales. We'll see. As long as we don't have an implosion in the year, I think Bowles' job might be safe. But it is a long year, man. Anything can happen. Yeah, I think Kate said Eagles. I'm pretty sure. Don't know. I could go back and look. But I'd written her down twice, and both times it said Eagles. But it's weird. Why would she pick the Eagles and then say that we were going to get 5 sacks and 2 interceptions? Don't know. Oh, Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels. You said we were going to get 2 interceptions too. We did get 2 interceptions, right? Or did we give 2 interceptions? I can't remember. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Okay, we got 2 interceptions. Yeah, okay. Got you. Yeah, that's Bowles' face. That emoji, we're going to start calling that the Bowles face. Tampa needs to give kickbacks to us out of town fans and entice us to move down to Tampa. I have come this close to moving to Tampa quite a few times. I got a lot of family that lives down there. I lived in the area for quite a few years. Not Tampa proper, but it was quite a drive to Tampa. But I have a hard time with the humidity down there. The humidity and the bugs. And also, and I don't mean to knock Tampa. Well, Florida is just an ugly state. You know, I'm used to mountains and trees and hills, stuff like that. There's none of that in Florida. It's, you know, it's sand and you got trees, but not like big forests. You got the big swamps. I hate to say that. I probably just offended half the Tampa fan base. Florida's not ugly. Joe says, too far away, but if we are a wild card and Eagles are a 2 seed, we might have to play this one again. Oof. Eesh. I hope we improve a lot by then, and I hope that they digress. Bowles thinks before he speaks and answers with professional but slick comments. The thing I don't like, MH, is that I just, and it's being selfish, I just don't get any, like answers out of him that I can like put in a database and add to my notes and stuff. You know? If the Bucs fire Bowles, then our team chemistry will be severely affected. I don't know how many times I've read and heard about how players, especially on defense, talk about how much they love Bowles and how hard they play for him because they believe in him and his scheme defensively. Yeah, you know, there's always that. I'm not a big fan of firing people, especially during the season. It's one of the reasons why me and Molly started our podcast, because there was a period where we went from, Gruden to Raheem Morris to Shiano to Lovie Smith. And it was just like we were firing coaches, and fans were hating the coach. And, 2 weeks into the season, they were calling for the coach to be fired. I was just like, it makes it really hard to be a fan when everybody hates every player and every coach. It's like we need to get out there and be more positive about it. So it's one of the things that we do on our podcast is we do not talk about firing anybody. We don't call for anybody's head. We'll hold people accountable. Tampa and Florida are great travel destinations. So when they visit Florida, they start looking for tickets. The Buck, I think from what I heard, prices are they're overpriced right now, the tickets. Gosh, I haven't been to Florida in years. It's been a while. Lived down there for a while and then visited there all the time. Like I said, I got a bunch of family down there. But haven't been in 3 years. Ugh. And the last 2 times I went were for funerals. So not fun. Florida is pretty in its own way. Yeah, we'll say that. Florida's got a great personality. Like to see a vlog of a Bucs game one of these days? Yeah, we've been talking about that. There's just a lot of obstacles to overcome doing that. We're probably going to do it. Yeah, Florida is so humid. I mean, I'd take 3 or 4 showers a day down there. Cold showers too. It was just so humid. I was just sweating all the time. And I don't know if it's my metabolism or whatever, but it would just drain the energy out of me, The cheapest ticket for the creamsicle game is $94 a ticket. That's too much, man. That's too much. Yeah, LMH, our stadium max is 60. Let me see, 64,000? I don't know. I've got it around here somewhere. Attendance. Yeah, it's one of the smaller stadiums. Well, everybody's built new stadiums. Paid attendance was 65,426, and I think the max attendance is like 65,800 or something. That paid attendance is never accurate. Because I think a lot of times they count like people who have season tickets that don't go, and stuff like that. There's accounting ways to make it look like there's more people than there was. Florida has the butterface. Smoking body. I'm with Bulls, but I know we got some decisions to make on some players. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man, to keep and let go. Just get something for them. Don't just let them walk. Clack, I feel like Bowles is really big into the young, untried people in football. It just seems like he really goes for these unknown. He doesn't scramble after veteran superstars or even veterans at all. He's like, just give me some guy sleeping on a log and I'll throw him back there as cornerback. I think he takes great pride in that. It's almost like he wants it to be about his scheme. Does that make sense? He's a clipboard carrier, I feel. So I think that plays a large part of it. You've never taken a cold shower, MK? You should do it. You should take a cold shower and wake you up. I'll tell you that. If you're ever tired during the day or something, jump into a cold shower for 30 seconds. You won't be tired anymore. I'll tell you that. It is. It's like an adrenaline rush. It's the equivalent of drinking a cup of coffee real fast or an energy drink. So it has the same effect on me. Yeah, I hope you can make it to that game, okay. What do you think about Captain Fear stuff? It definitely is a party atmosphere at Bucs games. I'll tell you what, it's a party atmosphere in all of Florida. I lived on the Gulf Coast, lived up in the Panhandle, lived on the East Coast. I actually lived Cocoa Beach, where the rocket scientists live, literal rocket science. And it's party atmosphere. Even the nerds party. All of Florida parties. It's like the whole state is just a party place. Where has Godwin been? I know, yeah, he didn't show up last night. I think Canales is going to be a good coach too. I've been impressed with him. Last night was tough, but we walked into a buzzsaw. At least we walked out with our limbs intact. Yeah, between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Florida sun with humidity is brutal. Yeah, and it's hot at night too. See, in Texas, it's like cold at night. Is that like desert heat? It's like cold at night. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll put a jacket on, go outside, and by 10 o'clock, you're sweating in a shirt, in a t-shirt and shorts. It's weird weather. Not Florida, man. Florida is just hot all the time. Parking gets expensive around the stadium, yeah. I've always been fortunate enough that I never had to pay for parking. We actually had really good parking passes right where the cheerleaders park. Molly used to get mad at me, or not mad at me, but I would ask the cheerleaders for pictures as they were in the parking lot, and the cheerleaders would get a little grumpy with me. They'd be like, "No, we're not ready yet." I was like, "You don't have to be snobby about it." Lived on the coast near Tarpon Springs for 18 years. Yeah. Didn't think Florida could get any hotter. Then I moved to Orlando. Yeah. Yeah. And every day it feels like I'm under a giant magnifying glass. Yeah. Yeah. So my mom loved it down in Florida because she hated being cold. When she got up in the years. That's one of a lot of reasons why a lot of the elderly moved down there, is because it's just good for their bones. And she would go down there and she'd just be as flexible and happy, ready to go. And I'm like, I can't breathe. Google says 75,000 capacity. 5 sacks for Bucs and 2 interceptions for Bucs. And also asked when was the last time Bucs went 4-0. Man, it might be. It sounds like it's taking you some time to hunt that down. Yeah, we had quite a few crazy predictions like that. Joe said we were going to get a return touchdown from Tompkins. Clack said 5 sacks from the Buccaneers too. Al, you said 100 yards from Godwin. Let me see. 941 said 6 sacks and a fumble and an interception. Tampa Born, is he still in there? Said 3 sacks, 1 pick, 1 fumble. Wasn't too far off. And I said 3 sacks. What did we end up with? 1. It wasn't even really a sack. Texas, never see the sweat on your shirt. Al, I don't think, maybe that's maximum capacity if they put in extra seats. Sometimes they'll do that. But I think the actual stadium attendance or capacity is lower than that. like for the game. I swear I was just looking at it. But they said paid attendance was 65,426. So either way, we did not sell out. Oh, man. Super Bowl. It's almost 3 years old since we won the Super Bowl. Bowl face. Parking is definitely one of the worst things about going to a Bucs game. Yeah, it's in the grass, too. Not good parking. When it rains, not fun. Sleep in Florida with a box fan 1 inch from your face, yes. Yeah. Can't live without AC in Florida for sure. Capacity 69,218. Okay, that sounds closer. So we were about 4,000 people short. That's crazy for a Monday night football game. I mean, it was a little hot down there, but you didn't have the sun beating on you. Come on, Tampa, you can do better than that. I guess Mike is the guy no matter what, and Baker's not going to look anywhere else, which is surprising because Godwin can hold his own. Yeah, he really did target Mike last night. I was glad that he kept throwing to him, even though after Mike was dropping the ball, but you got to spread it around a little bit, buddy. Got to spread it around. I think Tompkins only got 1 reception. Parker, I think he got 1. Actually, I'm saying I think that, but I can actually look. Okay. Godwin was targeted 5 times. He got 3 receptions. Tompkins was targeted 4 times. He's got 2. Palmer targeted once, got 1 reception. And Otten was targeted twice, got 1 reception. Evans was targeted 10 times, got 5 receptions. That would have made a big difference in that game if he would have caught just another 3 of those. Big difference. That one bounced right off his helmet. He caught it and went to bring it down, and it hit his helmet, and it bounced off. I was like, what? On the bright side, awesome. What's up? On the bright side, we didn't lose by 50 points. I know. Denver Bronco fans. Woof. Woof. I mean, are they tanking? Don't know, but that was a beatdown, man. 50 points. I never lost a game by 50 points. I'll never want to know what that feels like. Yes, 3 years better than 20 years. And we got another one coming up soon. That Super Bowl it's not going to be another 20 years before we get another one. Yes, that playoff game against the Cowboys was bad. We got another. Awesome thinks the Cowboys fans are the worst in the world. See, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are the worst fans. You and Al will be right at home. I've got friends that are Cowboys fans that are good people. Maybe they're horrible when they go to the stadium. And it was Monday Night Football, too. Yeah. Yeah, Cowboy fans are everywhere. I used to sell NFL merchandise, and Cowboy fans are by far they bought the most stuff. There's Cowboy fans everywhere. But the Denver Bronco fans spent the most money. It was weird. We actually made more money off Broncos fans than we did Cowboy fans. And New England Patriots fans were up there too. I bet the Broncos fans ain't spending no money now. Yeah, that was 10 years ago. We were sad losing in week 3 with a brand new team and scheme against a team that's been together for the most part. Yeah. We're trying to get our heads back to where they need to be, Joe. It hurt, but we realize, it should have been a lot worse. It should have been. I'm happy with where this team is at. I really am. Oh, gosh, I remember that one with Scotty Miller. Hit him right in the face. How about them Cowboys? Got whooped by the Arizona Cardinals. Did not see that coming at all. I did not. I would have bet $1,000 easy on that one. That was a lock for the Cowboys to win. Any given Sunday, man, you just never know. Joe doesn't like our division fans. Can't stand Saints fans. I don't think I've ever met a Saints fan that I liked. Falcons fans, I don't have a problem with. As a matter of fact, most Falcons fans I run have been pretty decent people. They'll sit down and talk football with you, you know. They're not jerks. Panthers fans, there's a mix there. There's a mix. But now that I'm in Panthers territory, I don't see a lot of Panthers gear anywhere. Do your best. Arr! I want to get a patch. Start wearing it on the channel and change my name to Graybeard. So I'm going to get a patch. Start calling myself Graybeard. Arr! Arr, you mateys. Ahoy. Yar. Walk the plank with you, scallywags. Are you on It's a Bucks Life forum? I'm Red Rum on there. Rampage, did you used to be on the old Buccaneers.com forum? Is that the Saints, MH? The Saints have 3 starting O-line out there? Panthers have fans. Yeah, there ain't a whole lot of them. Most of them that I've seen are fans left over from the Cam Newton days, or they're fans because they live here, that type of thing. Cowboys got inside the 10 twice. Dak scored 0 points. Once turnover on them via failed 4th down conversion. Once on a pick in end zone. Goodness. I bet that made you so happy, Al. Ooh. Awesome is saying Trask by week 10. Any takers? I don't think so, Awesome. I mean, of course, we don't know, but I have been extremely impressed with Baker Mayfield. I was more on the Trask boat than I was the Baker Mayfield boat going into this. But seeing them play in the preseason, I definitely switched to Mayfield. And then he's just really impressed me with his decision-making, his quickness. You know, not necessarily his running, but it's just his ability to move from one position to the other real quick and get that ball out. It's very impressive. And he's got a good field sense. He's got a, he's changing. He's calling audibles out there, and they're pretty good. Most of them I've seen. So I don't think, unless Baker Mayfield really screws the pooch, I don't think they're going to go with Trask. I think he's going to stay in. But we'll see. You never know. You never know. I mean, Mayfield's kind of a dynamic personality, and he might rub people the wrong way, or might get too antsy. That was my big worry with him, was I was worried he was going to come in and try to prove too much, make bad decisions. Rampage said his buddy was a Saints fan and he cried when we retired Breeze. Oh, that was a great game. That was a great game, man. Oh, that was a good feeling. It's just like all those years of just kicking him right out the door. Get out of here. Oh, Rampage. Yeah, I know you. I remember Red Rum from the old Buccaneers.com thing. I'm not going to tell you who I was. I actually had a couple different things. I used to start a lot of fights on there. Red Rum. Are you Stephen King fan or a Shining fan? Craig says no Trask at any point this season. Trask does not look comfortable in this system. 100%. He did not look comfortable. B says he's seen Bucks jerseys, Leonard Fournette number 7 for like $40. That's not bad. Is it the good ones? The good jerseys? The high end? What is it? Nike Elites, I think is what they're called. Oh, Joe, I know that Evans drop against the Panthers. What was that? But then, the next game, he gets those 3 bombs for touchdowns. He made up for that. Baker's got a good football IQ. Yeah, he does seem to be. He's nothing like I thought he was going to be. Nothing. And then, after the first thing anytime we get a new player, first thing I do is I go and start scouting all 22. And I was just like, I don't know about all this. But then during the preseason, he looked really good. He was nice, calm, relaxed, making good decisions, all that. So then I was like, all right, I can deal with this. And then my daughter was like, I really like Baker Mayfield. So then we watched this documentary on it. So now I got to know his personal life and everything. So that's usually my progression, is how I deal with players. It's all 22, then their field performance, and then I get into their personal lives. Yes, Clack. Yeah. We could have used Godwin to move those chains more last night. Yeah. We were trying some chunk plays with Mike Evans, which I get it, but the Godwin's sure hands, man. Cam and his outfits. Oh my gosh. And he had here in North Carolina, he's got like a fashion store or something. That's weird to me. Yeah, Rampage. Baker didn't play a bad game. I mean, he looked kind of hesitant out there a few times. But Mike Evans with those drops really, really hurt. Rampage, I used to love Stephen King. I read everything he did up until Gerald's Game, I think it was. And then it just seemed like it was getting more. He was always into the like mysticism or the weird. I don't even know what the word is, but there was always like supernatural stuff at play. And so then I kind of drifted away from reading his books. Now I wouldn't touch him with 10-foot pole. He's just. I agree with you on the politics, but and that's the thing about these celebrities and stuff. Keep your politics to yourself. Not that you don't have the right to say your politics, but half the country believes one thing, half the country believes another. If you come out on one side, the other half is not going to like you. So all you're doing is creating enemies, basically. People that just like, well, I'm done with him. There's been so many celebrities I've seen do that. They'll come out for this or that, and you're like, why would you do that? You're just pissing off half your fan base. And Stephen King seems like he's gone a little loopy. I haven't read anything of his in 20 years, probably longer than that. Used to love his work. Bowles, yeah, never looks motivated. A Nike Vapor Fuse. It's a good jersey. Worth $40, that's for sure. Yeah, The Dark Tower was awesome. One of my favorite books was by him, and as usual, I can't remember the title of it, but it was where he did the medieval one, with that I think it was a girl was stuck in the tower, and it was like, kind of like your classic thing. But that was a neat thing about Stephen King, is he could take old stories, old classic tropes, like vampire stories and zombies and stuff like that, and make them really interesting. But he did the medieval stuff. Was it Eyes of the Dragon? Is that the name of it? It sounds like. It's been so long since I read it, but there were so many things in that book that stick with me to this day. That where he was talking about the dog running through the tracking the scents using colors. That was just it stuck with me to this day. He did that with Cujo too, when the dog was underneath the porch listening to the people talk. That's his greatest skill, I think, is putting you in the head of the characters. Yes, awesome. I agree with you 100%. I think just because you have a platform don't mean you need to speak out, because you're just alienating people. Yeah, his Twitter is bad. Yeah, some celebrities, I don't want to know anything about their personal life, because when you find out, you're like, whoa, yeah, okay, never mind. Exactly, awesome. That's how it should be. Yeah. Saints are favored by 3 points. Really? Oh, we're playing at New Orleans, right? The disrespect is real. But yeah, the Dark Tower series was great. The Stand was great. I mean, gosh, so many great books. Matter of fact, he actually, The Dead Zone was the first novel I ever read. I had written, like small books and stuff like that, Dolphin Island and Treasure Island and King Arthur, Tom Sawyer, stuff like that. But it was like the first adult novel. I had found it in a drawer, and I read it and just got consumed. And that really started my book reading life. With Stephen King. I hate to say it now, but yeah. The Dead Zone. Yep, Alvin Kamara came back. Only got 3-game suspension for beating the crap out of some dude with a gang of other guys. Oh, The Eyes of the Dragon was connected to the Tower series? Really? What'd you think about the movie, Rampage? I never watched it. Never saw it. Can we host the Saints first next year? Would be nice for once. I know, right? That's because the NFL loves the Saints much more than they do the Buccaneers. Awesome finish. I appreciate it, buddy. I didn't have my super chat thing set up here. I wonder if there's a way I can get that to pop up. We had just been playing around with this. I don't know if that's popping up or not. I can't get it to pop up. It usually pops up on screen. Awesome finish. Had this happen to me once before. I got to fix that. This is all new to me. I do appreciate it, though. Al, have a good one, brother. Hope to see you tomorrow. We're going to be here doing the All 22. It's 8:35. We need to get out of here. Yeah, that's what I heard, Rampage, so I wasn't too excited to see it. RRR was on Netflix last I looked. So, yes. Yeah, go check it out. Great movie. Great movie. Canyons and Curry super chats. Yeah, Netflix. Tom, Tom, Tom votes depending on who Brittany wants her to vote for. Yeah. LMH, if you get a chance to watch it, check it out and let me know what you think. It's like nothing you've ever seen before, I'll tell you that, but it's really great. And if you can, watch it with some guy friends, but if not, it's still great. All right, LMH, I appreciate it. Guys, I got to get off of here. It was way too late. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to look at some All-22, figure out exactly what went wrong, and see who played well. See who played bad, see who played well. So we're going to do that tomorrow. But until then, go Bucks.